والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم وقل رب زدني علما. قال المصنف إمام النووي رحمه الله تبارك وتعالى ونفعنا بعلومه في الدارين. قال عن أبي موسى الأشعري رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إنما مثل الجليس الصالح وجليس السوء كحامل المسك ونافخ الكير، فحامل المسك إما أن يحذيك وإما أن تبتاعك منه وإما أن تجد منه ريحا طيبة. الله أكبر. ونافخ الكير فحامل المسك إما أن يحذيك وإما أن تبتاع منه وإما أن تجد منه ريحا طيبة. ونافخ الكير إما أن يحرقك ثيابك وإما أن تجد منه ريحا منتنة. متفق عليه. So continuing with the chapter of visiting the people of khair and virtue. So here, the hadith of Sayyidina Abi Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu, narrating from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that he says that the example of the pious person that you, or the pious companion that you remain with, we call him Jalis, the person that you sit with, in other words, the companion that you spend more time with. So the pious companion, the muttaqi companion, and the example of the unrighteous companion, Jalis as-Su, companion, the person who you sit with and remain in his company, who is not pious, the opposite of pious, a wrongdoer, a sinner. So the example of the two is like the example of someone we call Hamid al-Misk, a person who has a misk with him. So our brother Abdul Aziz had a mobile bakhur burner, and everyone he came next to, he just got everybody smelling nicely, so everybody appreciated that, right? So such is the example of the pious and the virtuous companion. So you'll always be getting something good for him, like the person who has this misk with him. And the misk is actually the real misk is as Nabi Sallallahu says, "Atibu tibukum al-misk." The most beautiful of all your fragrances is the misk. It's very difficult to get the real one these days, but it's actually the dried blood in the particular in a sack within the body of the musk deer, and you have to acquire that sack while the deer is alive and extracted, and then it has to be processed, and it's a very beautiful smell. And it's very rare these days, it's very difficult to find, but it's a very beautiful smell. So the person who has this misk, so either he may give you, or you may purchase from him, or at least because he has misk, so you get a good smell. And the example of that person who is the unpious Jalis, the unpious companion, is like the nafikh al-kir, like in the old days the blacksmith used to have these billows, and he used to blow on the coal and the embers to make the fire very hot, and then he would do his ironwork with that. And so that fellow, sitting around with him, what's going to happen to you? Either your clothes get burned up if you get very close to him, or at least you will get, rather than a good smell, you'll get a very putrid smell of the burning ashes and the burning iron. Right? So therefore, this is the example of the pious companion or the impious companion. So the pious companion, you're always going to get some benefit, and the impious companion, you're always going to get some detriment. So we should always be very careful, particularly the youngsters, and very important guidance for our parents to ensure that our children we should very carefully but very tactfully, diplomatically ensure that our children are in the good company. Just ordering and preventing is not going to do it, but we encourage them and instruct them and give them these examples and let them themselves come to the realization that having good companionship is going to be to my benefit, and bad companionship is definitely going to be to my detriment. So they should come to this realization Allah give us tawfiq to understand this and be the means of causing others to understand, particularly our children. Ameen thumma ameen wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.